No doubt a 205 5015 tire looks awesome on a 90s Civic. But what do you guys think about a 225 5015? In this episode, we're gonna look at both sets of my wheels and tires, my 205 5015s on my NK 92s, and my 225 5015s on my 949. I would love to hear what you're currently running on your car. 90s Civic, what are you running? Back when I got my 949s, I had already had the NKs. I put both sets of wheels and tires on my 92 hatchback. 205 5015, 225 5015. And I went out and did an acceleration test. Two very different compounds of tire. On my 949s, I have Toyo R888Rs, 100 tread wear tire. At the time, on my NK92s, I had the Yokohama S drives, a sporty tire, but still a street tire, 300 tread wear on that. Guess which one won the acceleration test? So I am shifting a little bit early. The TAC is playing games, the RPMs. So I'm shifting at about 6,000. I'm gonna do the same with the end keys. You know, whether or not it warms up in that time, I'm gonna shift at the same points each time. And here comes test number 2. Dude, I was like, have I made the wrong decision here? Are the Toyos not as grippy? But it actually was that smaller combo tire accelerates better. But, and this is a major but, yes, it accelerates better in a straight line. Even with technically a less sticky tire, it still accelerates better in the straight line. However, this was my track car, not a drag car, not a street car. And on the racetrack, I know that I spend so much more time in high-speed corners rather than accelerating. And that's where the Toyos come into their own. The 225 5015, regardless of what you think about the looks of it, definitely performs on track. No, it is not gonna accelerate from a dead stop quite as fast as the 205 5015, but in the corners, I can definitely lean on the tire more. There's just physically more tire surface on the ground, and it's a stickier compound. When those babies heat up and I'm in that 80-mile-an-hour corner, yeah, it grips pretty hard. Little bit of background on these wheels too. The 949s are a really light wheel. I think it's around 11 pounds for each wheel, whereas the NK92s, they're closer to 20 pounds each wheel. When you add the tires to that too, they actually come out to about the same weight. So that's always a factor to consider too. Sometimes the cooler street set of wheels, you know, are definitely a little bit heavier, and that obviously affects performance as well. If you're into 90s Hondas, you've likely had a 205 5015 on your car. Lower down, the cars just look great. I have a 1998 Civic hatchback with NK 92s, 205 5015 tire on that. I've had a few different variations of the tire. I've had a Yokohama S drive, I had a couple Falcons, even Derezas at one point. All of them look good. The very first set of tires that I got on this was the Yokohama S drives. instantly it makes your car look better. Lower the altitude, 205 50/15, awesome. I mounted my tires to a set of Enkei 92s, 15x8. You get a little bit of that stretch going on. And with the 205, it just fits so right. Now that 1998 Civic that I have was strictly a street car, point A to B. Just wanted it to look good, got it pretty low, was happy with it. Now, not low to, you low life guys standards, but it was low enough to be a very suitable daily driver. Now, in contrast to that, I have my 92 hatchback. And when I got this car, I knew it was gonna be strictly my track car. And at first, I was considering, do I go with the 205 50/15? I still have the D series in this car, no power to the thing. So I'm like, do I need a whole bunch more width on the ground? Well, ultimately I decided yes, and I went with the 225 50/15. Now I know that there is a 225 45/15 out there as well, and that would match up much more closely to what the 205 50/15 would. This 225 50/15 actually adds a little bit of height. So looks wise, while we're still on the subject, it just looks a little bit meatier, a little beefier. I actually really dig the look. I don't know, my EG just looks like a little tank to me. Like, I just love the thing. But I had to sacrifice a little bit of ride height for that, unless I really wanted to get into the lows, start pulling fenders a heck of a lot more, and bringing this thing down. But that messes with suspension geometry and all that kind of stuff that we're not gonna talk about in this episode. So what do you guys think? If you have a 90s Civic, what do you currently have on your car? Is there one that you always stick to? Would you try the other? I have both sets and I appreciate both of them for what they do. Again, on the 98 hatchback, the 205 50/15 looks great, and I don't need all that width on a street car. It allows me to get a little bit lower. I love the look of it. But on the track car, out on the racetrack, that 225 width, man, the stability that offers, really hard to beat that for me. I love the look of both. I love both of my cars in here, but of course I'm biased. What do you guys think? I would love to hear what you're currently running on your car. 90s Civic, what are you running? Do you have a newer Civic? What size wheel and tire do you run? I don't even know. I don't even have a newer Civic. Like, well, I got the Pilot and all, but like, new Civics, what are you guys running? Like 18s, 19s? Do any of you guys even watch this channel? I'd be really curious to know. But so anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you in the next one.